In this video, I'm going to walk you through the process of creating a will in New York. I'll guide you through the steps of creating a will, the legal requirements, and what happens if you don't have a will. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to confidently create your very own will in New York. And by the way, if you feel like you need help creating a will, then I recommend you reach out to people from lawdepot.com because they are professionals and they will be able to help you. For your convenience, I have left a link to their website down in the description of this video. And with that in mind, let's get right into it. Why should I make a will in New York? A will, often referred to as a last will and testament, serves several vital purposes. Property distribution. Specify who should inherit your property, including assets, real estate, and sentimental items. Guardian for your children. Name a personal guardian to take care of your minor children in case of your passing. Property management. Designate a trusted individual to manage property left to minor children. Executor appointment. Appoint an executor responsible for ensuring that your will's provisions are carried out. Steps to create a will in New York. Here's a straightforward checklist to help you create a will in New York. Step number 1. Decide what property to include in your will. Compile a list of assets and possessions you want to distribute through your will. Step number 2. Decide who will inherit your property. Determine who your beneficiaries are and specify their respective shares. Step number 3. Choose an executor. Select a responsible person to handle your estate and ensure your wishes are executed. Step number 4. Choose a guardian for your children. If you have minor children, designate a guardian to care for them. Step number 5. Choose someone to manage children's property. Appoint a trustworthy individual to manage property left to minor children. Step number 6. Make your will. Draft your will outlining your preferences for property distribution, guardianship, and other important matters. Step number 7. Sign your will in front of witnesses. Finalize your will by signing in the presence of witnesses. Note that neither witness should be beneficiary of the will. Step number 8. Store your will safely. Keep your will in a secure location such as a safe or with a trusted person who knows its whereabouts. Step number 9. Make your will self-proving. This is optional. While not mandatory, you can make your will self-proving by visiting a notary with your witnesses to sign an affidavit affirming the authenticity of your will. What happens if I don't have a will? If you pass away without a will in New York, your property will be distributed according to the state's intestacy laws. These laws prioritize your closest relatives, starting with your spouse and children. If neither a spouse nor children are present, your grandchildren or parents may inherit. The list of potential heirs extends to more distant relatives, including siblings, grandparents, aunts and uncles, cousins, great-grandchildren, and great-nieces and nephews. If the court exhausts this list without finding any living relatives by blood or marriage, the state may take ownership. Do I need a lawyer to make a will in New York? No, you do not need a lawyer to create a will in New York. You can conveniently create your own will using a trusted online platform like Law Depot. However, in complex situations or if you anticipate disputes over your will, consulting an attorney is advisable. Law Depot's will-making products provide guidance on when to seek legal counsel. What are the requirements for making a will in New York? To create a legally valid will in New York, you must meet the following criteria. Be 18 years of age or older, be of sound mind and memory. Your will can dispose of both real and personal property. Generally, your will must be in hard copy, meaning it must be on actual paper. Digital or electronic wills are not accepted except in specific circumstances discussed later. New York does allow non-cupative oral wills in limited situations, such as for members of the armed forces during armed conflict, Marines, or individuals accompanying members of the armed forces during armed conflict. These oral wills must be clearly witnessed by 2 people. However, they may become invalid shortly after emergency situation expires. How do I sign my New York will? To finalize your will in New York, you must sign or acknowledge your will in front of 2 witnesses. You must declare to your witnesses that the document you are signing or acknowledging is your will, and your witnesses must sign your will in front of you. You should sign at the end of the will, as New York law may not recognize anything after your signature, except for a self-proving affidavit. New York provides a 30-day window for your witnesses to observe you signing or acknowledging your will, but they can't sign it simultaneously with you. Additionally, your witnesses must include their addresses on the will. Holographic wills, which are wills entirely written in your own handwriting, do not require witnesses in New York. Do I need to have my will notarized? No, in New York, you are not obligated to notarize your will to make it legally valid. However, you have the option to make your will self-proving by visiting a notary with your witnesses to sign an affidavit affirming the authenticity of your will. A self-proving will can expedite the probate process because the court can accept the will without contacting the witnesses who signed it. Should my will name an executor? Yes, it is advisable to name an executor in your will. An executor is responsible for ensuring that the provisions outlined in your will are carried out after your passing. If you do not name an executor, the probate court will appoint someone to handle your estate. Can I revoke or change my will? In New York, you have the freedom to revoke or amend your will at any time. You can revoke your will by burning, tearing, cutting, canceling, obliterating, mutilating, or destroying the will. Instructing someone else to burn, tear, cut, cancel, obliterate, mutilate, or destroy your will in front of you and to 2 other witnesses. Creating a new will that explicitly revokes the old one or contains contradictory terms. Making a new writing that states that you are revoking your will while following the same formalities used to create your original will. If you need to make changes to your will, it is generally best to revoke the existing will and create a new one. However, for minor changes, you can consider adding an amendment to your current will known as a codicil. Regardless of the method chosen, you must finalize any changes with the same formalities used when creating your original will. Can I make a digital or electronic will? While some states allow electronic wills, New York currently does not recognize them. This legality of e-wills is still evolving, so it's essential to stay informed about any updates regarding electronic wills in New York if you're interested in. While some states allow electronic wills, New York currently does not recognize them. And don't forget that if you need help creating a will, then I recommend you contact people from lawdepot.com because they are professionals and they will be able to help you. For your convenience, I have left a link to their website down in the description of this video. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe.